Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're going to be talking about elephants. So whether you're, already pretty familiar with elephants or just curious to learn some new things, we've got a ton of really cool research articles and conservation reports and even some firsthand accounts all ready to go. We'll be uncovering some pretty amazing facts about elephant intelligence, their unique ways of communicating, and just how vital they are to the whole ecosystem.
It's true. They really are incredible creatures, so much more than just, majestic giants.
Exactly. And to really appreciate them, I think we first need to understand that we're not just talking about one kind of elephant. Did you know there are actually three distinct species?
Yeah, that's right. We've got the African savanna elephant, which is the largest land mammal on Earth, can get over 13 feet tall, weigh up to 12,000 pounds. Then there's the African forest elephant, which is smaller and perfectly adapted to navigating those dense rainforests of Central and West Africa. And of course, we can't forget about the Asian elephant, found across various regions of South and Southeast Asia.
Wow, so that's already more elephant variety than I realized.
Yeah.
But why is it so important to know about these different species? I mean, isn't it just kind of a matter of size and where they live?
Well, it's definitely more than that. Each species has its own unique characteristics, social structures, and even conservation challenges. Like, for example, forest elephants, they play this really vital role in seed dispersal. So they're actually helping to regenerate those lush rainforests that they live in. Their smaller size and the way their tusks are shaped are all specific adaptations to that environment. And understanding those nuances is crucial for developing effective conservation strategies, ones that are tailored to each species' needs.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. So it's not just about protecting elephants generally, but about protecting each unique population and the role they play in their specific environment.
Exactly, precisely. And speaking of unique features, we can't talk about elephants without talking about their incredible trunks.
Right.
Over 40,000 muscles working together to create this just true marvel of nature.
I've always been so fascinated by elephant trunks. I mean, they're so strong and powerful, but then also incredibly delicate. What are some of the most surprising things that they can do with their trunks?
Well, I mean, besides the obvious uses like drinking water, the trunk is actually their primary tool for breathing, smelling, touching, and grabbing food. They can use it to delicately pick up a single blade of grass or effortlessly move a log weighing hundreds of pounds.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like having a nose, hand, and arm all rolled into one.
Exactly. And that amazing dexterity is a key reason why elephants are so adaptable, able to thrive in such a wide range of environments.
It's mind-boggling to think about how such a seemingly simple appendage can be so versatile and essential to their survival.
Okay, I have to ask about elephant society now. I remember those old Disney movies portraying elephants as these gentle giants roaming in these big family groups. How accurate is that depiction? Well, the family group part is definitely spot on, but it's much more complex than those early portrayals. Elephant herds are actually highly organized matriarchal societies,
Mhm.
led by the oldest and wisest females.
Oh, wow. So it's the females who are in charge. That's pretty cool. How does that work?
So the matriarch, usually the oldest and most experienced female, will guide the herd. She'll make decisions about where to find food and water and protect the younger elephants. This kind of leadership structure requires exceptional memory, communication, and cooperation skills. Because the matriarch, she holds a wealth of knowledge about their territory, things like migration routes, watering holes, and safe areas.
Wow. It's amazing to think that these herds rely so heavily on the experience and wisdom of their oldest females. So what about the males? Where do they fit in all of this?
Well, male elephants, they typically lead more solitary lives, especially once they reach maturity. They might form loose bachelor groups, but they don't have those same strong social bonds as the females do in the herds.
So it's really the females who drive elephant society, passing down that knowledge and making sure the next generation survives.
Absolutely. These complex social structures are a testament to elephant intelligence and adaptability. In fact, their social lives are very closely intertwined with another really fascinating aspect, their communication skills, which are far more complex than we might initially realize. You might be surprised to learn that elephants actually have a whole range of ways to communicate, some of which we can't even hear.
Really? I always thought it was just those loud trumpets, like the ones you hear in documentaries.
Oh yeah, those trumpets, those are definitely impressive, often used as alarm calls or even to just express excitement. But they also communicate through a variety of rumbles, snorts, and even infrasound.
Infrasound. That sounds kind of sci-fi. What is that?
Okay, well imagine like Feeling the bass of a loudspeaker through your chest, even if you can't really hear the music clearly. That's kind of what infrasound is like for elephants. It's these extremely low frequency sounds, way too deep for us to hear. But elephants can both produce and detect them.
So it's like a secret language they use.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of communicating in a way we can't even hear?
Well, the amazing thing about infrasound is that it can travel over vast distances, even through dense forests or over hills.
Hmm.
This allows elephants to stay connected across miles, coordinating movements, finding mates, or even warning each other of danger.
Wow, that's incredible. It's like they have a built-in long-range walkie-talkie. I'm starting to think elephants are way cooler than I ever imagined.
Oh, and you know what? Those communication skills are actually linked to another amazing ability, seismic sensitivity.
Seismic sensitivity. Wait, you mean like they can sense vibrations in the ground?
Exactly. They have incredibly sensitive feet and trunks that can pick up even subtle vibrations traveling through the earth.
Okay, so what does that let them do? Can they like predict earthquakes or something?
Well, while predicting earthquakes is still a bit out there, they can definitely sense seismic activity related to earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and even approaching storms, all well before humans can.
That's wild. It's like they have a sixth sense for what's happening beneath their feet. Makes me wonder, what other hidden senses might animals possess that we're only just starting to understand?
It really is a humbling thought, right? It reminds us that we don't have all the answers, and that there's still so much to learn about the natural world and how other species experience it.
Speaking of experiencing the world, I'm kind of curious about how elephants find enough food to fuel those massive bodies of theirs. I mean, they must have to eat constantly, right?
You're telling me. They're herbivores with a huge appetite, consuming up to 300 pounds of vegetation every day.
300 pounds, that's more than I weigh. What do they eat to get that much food in a single day?
Well, their diet mainly consists of grasses, leaves, bark, fruits, and roots, and they're constantly on the move, foraging for food across vast distances.
That makes sense, but with their size and appetite, wouldn't they just completely deplete the resources in one area pretty quickly? Like, how do they impact the environment as they're moving around and eating so much?
That's a great question. It really highlights their role as a keystone species. So think of a keystone, like the one holding an arch together. Elephants are kind of like that keystone in their ecosystems, playing this crucial role in maintaining the balance. Their grazing habits actually help shape the landscape, creating clearings that allow new plants to grow. And their dung acts as a natural fertilizer, spreading seeds far and wide.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about them getting enough food. It's about the impact they have on the whole ecosystem just by going about their daily lives.
Precisely. Without elephants, the delicate balance of these ecosystems would be totally disrupted, which would affect countless other plant and animal species.
That makes their conservation even more critical. But realistically, how are we supposed to protect animals as large and wide-ranging as elephants?
It's definitely a huge challenge, there's no doubt about that. They face a number of threats. Everything from habitat loss due to deforestation and human expansion, to poaching for their ivory tusks, to conflict with humans as they compete for resources.
It's heartbreaking to think that these magnificent creatures are endangered because of our actions. What's being done to protect them? I mean, are there any glimmers of hope in this situation?
There definitely are people out there fighting hard to protect elephants. Things like increased anti-poaching patrols are helping to deter illegal hunting, and habitat restoration projects are creating safe havens where elephants can thrive.
That's good to hear. But it sounds like it's going to take a massive global effort to really make a difference for elephants.
Oh, absolutely. And there's this growing movement now to really engage local communities in elephant conservation, which means, working with people who live alongside elephants every day, helping them to mitigate conflict and find ways to coexist sustainably.
Yeah, that sounds really important. I mean, after all, it's the people living closest to elephants who are most affected by their presence,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly. And there's also increasing awareness now about the really devastating impact of the ivory trade.
Yeah.
So stricter laws, public education campaigns, and even innovative technologies to track poached ivory are all starting to make a difference.
So it sounds like there are a lot of moving parts, but it's
Mhm.
it's encouraging to hear that there's progress being made, on multiple fronts.
Hmm.
What can everyday people like us do to help? It feels like such a huge problem,
Yeah.
and our actions seem so small in comparison.
It's easy to feel that way, yeah.
Mm.
But even small actions can have a ripple effect. So, supporting organizations that are dedicated to elephant conservation is a great place to start. Even just spreading awareness about the threats they face and the importance of their conservation can really make a difference.
So something as simple as sharing information online or talking to friends and family about elephants can actually help.
Oh, absolutely. Every bit of awareness raised helps to kind of, build momentum for change. And remember, knowledge is power. The more we understand about elephants, their intelligence, their social bonds, their role in the ecosystem, the more likely we are to care about their future.
You know what? I came into this deep dive thinking I knew a thing or two about elephants, but I've learned so much more than I expected. I never realized how complex their communication is or how crucial they are to the health of entire ecosystems.
It's a common misconception, yeah. We often see elephants as just these large, lumbering creatures, but there's so much more to them than meets the eye. They're incredibly intelligent, social animals with these intricate lives and just these really deep connections to their environment.
It's honestly been a truly eye-opening experience for me, and I feel inspired to do my part in helping to protect these magnificent creatures.
That's the spirit. And remember, even though elephants may seem far removed from our daily lives, their fate is interconnected with our own. The health of their ecosystems ultimately impacts the health of our planet.
Wow. So it's not just about saving elephants, it's about saving ourselves. That's a powerful thought to end on. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of elephants. We hope you learn something new and feel inspired to take action, however small.
Until next time, stay curious. And remember, even small actions can make a big difference.